The Night Stalker, the crazy truth behind serial killer Richard Ramirez. This is Richard Ramirez. Yes, you people are hearing me right. This is the same name that has been coined once in real life, and the second in real, as in R-E-E-L, life. Hello people, welcome back to Stalker Stories. And you guys might have heard about the Night Stalker on Netflix. You might have found it crazy, but this is based on a real story, and here we're going to hear about that real story. So friends, without wasting any more time, let us begin. Ricardo Richard Leyva Muoz Ramirez, also known as Night Stalker, Valley Intruder, and walk-in murderer, was an American serial killer who committed crimes in California between June 1984 and August 1985. In 1989, he was found guilty and condemned to death. He died in 2013 while awaiting execution. Ramirez's upbringing is said to have an impact on his criminal behavior. Abused by his father, Ramirez started cultivating horrible, macabre hobbies in his early and mid-teens from his elder cousin, Miguel Ramirez, who reportedly also taught him some of the military abilities he would go on to utilize throughout his year-long killing spree. Ramirez was also fascinated with Satanism and the occult. He had started taking cocaine often by the time he left his family in Texas and traveled to California at the age of 22. Ramirez would routinely conduct burglaries to fund his drug addiction, many of which were subsequently followed by murders, attempted murders, rapes, and assaults. Over the course of 14 months, Ramirez's well-known house invasion and murder spree scared residents of the greater Los Angeles region and eventually the San Francisco Bay Area. However, his first known murder happened in April 1984. This crime was not linked to Ramirez, nor was it confirmed to be his handiwork until 2009. Ramirez employed a broad range of weapons and murder tactics, including firearms, numerous kinds of knives, a machete, a tire iron, and a claw hammer. He punched, pistol-whipped, and strangled numerous of his victims with hands, and in one case, a ligature. He trampled at least one victim to death in her sleep, and tortured another victim by shocking her with a live electrical line. Ramirez also enjoyed degrading and humiliating his victims, especially those who survived his attacks or whom he explicitly decided not to kill, by forcing them to profess their love for Satan or telling them to swear on Satan if there were no more valuables left in the homes he had broken into and burglarized. Ramirez was convicted of 13 charges of murder, 5 attempted murders, 11 sexual assaults, and 14 burglaries in 1989. The judge who affirmed Ramirez's 19 death sentences said that his actions demonstrated cruelty, callousness, and viciousness beyond any human comprehension. Ramirez never showed regret for his misdeeds. He died on California's death row on June 7, 2013, of complications from B-cell lymphoma. Erickson provided detectives with a comprehensive description of the offender, and police received a cast of Ramirez's footprint from the Romero residence. The stolen Toyota was discovered abandoned on August 28th in Koreatown in Los Angeles, and authorities got a single fingerprint from the rear-view mirror despite Ramirez's painstaking attempts to scrub the vehicle clear of his prints. The print was conclusively confirmed as belonging to Ramirez, a 25-year-old vagabond from Texas, with a lengthy rap sheet that included several bookings for traffic and illicit narcotics crimes. The identification of Ramirez's print was hailed as a near miracle, since the technology used to identify him was recently built, as well as the fact that his system had the fingerprints of offenders born after January 1, 1960, barely a month before Ramirez was born. On August 29, 1985, law enforcement authorities decided to release a mugshot of Ramirez from a 1984 arrest for vehicle theft to the media, giving the Night Stalker a face. At the police news conference, it was announced, "We know who you are now, and everyone else will shortly. There will be nowhere for you to hide." Patty Elaine Higgins, age 32, was killed at her Arcadia home on June 27, 1985. The crime was not uncovered until July 2nd, when she failed to show up for work. Her assailant had sodomized her, strangled her, and slit her neck. Ramirez was charged with murder and burglary in connection with Higgins' death. However, the accusations against him in this instance were subsequently dismissed, owing to a lack of substantial physical evidence tying the Higgins murder to the Night Stalker killings. According to Ramirez's statement to an investigator, he's also a suspect in the double murder of Christina and Mary Caldwell in San Francisco. On February 20, 1985, the Caldwell sisters were discovered stabbed to death in their Telegraph Hill apartment. While detained, Ramirez publicly boasted to a prison warden and other prisoners of killing more than 20 people. On August 30, 1985, Ramirez boarded a bus to Tucson, Arizona to see his brother, unknowing that he had become the headline story in almost every major newspaper and television news program in California. Ramirez returned to Los Angeles early on August 31st after failing to see his brother owing to his brother's absence. He went past police officers who were scoping out the bus terminal in the hopes of apprehending the murderer if he attempted to leave on an outward bus and inside an East Los Angeles convenience shop. Ramirez exited the shop in a panic after observing a group of elderly Hispanic ladies scared, describing him as El Matador. He tried to carjack an unlocked Ford Mustang after sprinting over the Santa Ana Freeway, or I-5, but was pulled out by an outraged neighbor, Faustino Piñon. Ramirez dashed across the street, attempting to steal Angelina de la Torres's vehicle keys. Manuel de la Torre, the woman's husband, observed the attempt and pursued Ramirez, hitting him over the head with a fence post. A group of approximately 10 locals assembled and pursued Ramirez along Hubbard Street in Boyle Heights. The people thrashed Ramirez mercilessly. Around 8 a.m., police were alerted to a disturbance in the vicinity with scant specifics and signs of a fight. Police responded promptly to the 3700 block of Hubbard and discovered Ramirez, who was badly battered and unarmed, and brought him into prison. The gathering had grown to several hundred individuals. It was growing rowdy toward Ramirez, so responding officer Andy Ramirez remained behind as Officer Jim Kaiser transported Ramirez to the Hollenbeck police station. The jury selection process for the trial started on July 22, 1988. Ramirez exclaimed, "Hail Satan," at his first court appearance. On August 3, 1988, the Los Angeles Times claimed that several prison officials overheard Ramirez preparing to kill the prosecutor with a pistol he wanted to bring into the courtroom. As a result, a metal detector was mounted outside, and individuals who entered were subjected to extensive searches. The trial was adjourned on August 14th because one of the jurors, Phyllis Singletary, failed to appear in court. Later that day, she was discovered and shot to death in her residence. The jury was scared, wondering whether Ramirez had somehow guided this occurrence from within his jail cell and if he could contact other jurors. However, it was subsequently ruled that Ramirez was not guilty of Singletary's murder since she was shot and killed by her lover, who later committed suicide with the same firearm at a hotel. The substitute juror who replaced Singletary was too terrified to come home. On September 20th, 1989, Ramirez was found guilty on all charges: 13 counts of murder, 5 attempted murders, 11 sexual assaults, and 14 burglaries. On November 7th, 1989, he was condemned to death in California's gas chamber during the punishment phase of the trial. He told reporters after the death sentences, "Not a big deal. Death always comes with the land. See you in Disneyland." The trial cost $1.8 million, or $3.93 million in today's money, making it the most costly murder trial in California history until it was exceeded in 1994 by the O.J. Simpson murder case. Ramirez's first round of state appeals was unsuccessful on August 7, 2006, when the California Supreme Court maintained his convictions and death sentence. On September 7, 2006, the California Supreme Court dismissed his motion for a rehearing. Ramirez had several appeals pending at the time of his death. Ramirez died on June 7, 2013 at Marin General Hospital in Green Bay, California, following complications related to B-cell lymphoma. He had also suffered from chronic drug addiction and chronic hepatitis C virus infection. That's it for today's video. Please let us know in the comment box if you've watched the series on Netflix or not. And please like and share our video with your friends. And make sure you subscribe to our channel too. And we'll do it again soon. Thanks for watching.